Hello, we're Friendly Fires, and this is a track-by-track run-through of our new album, Parlour. Live Those Days Tonight. Lyrically, the idea came from a lazy Sunday afternoon spent on YouTube looking at old 80s rave videos and just laughing at people gurning their faces off. It just seemed like this amazing fantasy world that I'll never be a part of because of my age. It kind of frustrated me a bit, and it frustrated me more when I read all the kind of the top YouTube comments. Things will never be the same, you know, kids these days don't know how to party, and I just thought it'd be a good idea for like a party track, just to celebrate the here and now.
Yeah, Blue Cassette's sort of song about a sort of finding a cassette in your back garden, having the voice of someone that you've long lost on it, and sort of that rush of memory returning.
A lot of the parts that you hear in the verse, all the sort of chopped up tape loops and sounds, are things that I recorded on dictaphones and minidiscs. Like minidiscs, mainly minidiscs, which probably doesn't really keep in with the whole Blue Cassette kind of.
Yeah, minidisc in my back garden.
Doesn't quite work. Yeah, a lot of the parts were, I think, like my first sort of experimentations with music.
Running Away is sort of a more syrupy, slower beat. It's got a very disco element to it. It's got a big sort of harpsichord intro. It sets a gothic tone, but some slamming chimes in it as well, which have been recorded from the very bells of the St Albans clock tower.
We went up there like 3 Quasimodos, like right around the, you know, swinging on the things, just like going crazy, and you hear that on Running Away.
Yeah, track 4, Hawaiian Air, was the last track recorded off the record. We mixed it the day before mastering. Kind of enjoyed the fact that we just mixed it and we're like, this is the final mix because this is going to be on the record. We can't go back on it. Yeah, it's really spontaneous, really fun to write, just because all the ideas just came straight away. And yeah, it's one of my favourite tracks off the record.
Whole thing's kind of sort of like 80s kind of, I don't know, kind of 80s sort of synthy soul kind of sound to it. It's got the Harlem Gospel Choir singing some backing vocals on it. But I feel like it sounds like something, but I can't remember what it sounds like. It kind of reminds me a bit of that Supermen Lovers track that goes, called Starlight. It sort of has a sort of same, you know, the verse melody kind of reminds me of that.
Someone told me something like Shalimar.
I don't know Shalimar.
You know, make this a night to remember.
Yeah, kind of. It's got like a really good synth sound at the beginning, like really kind of old analogue kind of bright sort of synth brass sound.
Parlour is the slowest track off the record. It's the most sparse and most minimal, and it's probably the most un-Friendly Fires sounding track off the record. All the kind of verse percussion sounds are made from wind-up toys and cameras clicking and winding up.
Great sound of a whole orchestra tuning to one note in it.
It's a sample on an EMU Emax, which is this old 80s sampler, and it's just called big floppy disk.
Yeah, it takes like 9-inch floppies. No, maybe not 9-inch floppies. That'd be. But it's yeah, you know, the larger type of floppies that you used to have on a BBC computer or something. It's right in the middle of the record, so it really feels like the heart of it, I think.
Show Me Lights was made up of huge slamming drums, and we recorded a guitar, sped it up and then pitched it down, and it had this weird sort of sound of a steel band, or kettle drum sound. It's, what's the theme of the song?
It's about just driving around Detroit in a convertible car, and just driving around with a friend who lives in Detroit, and then showing me the city and just being just amazed by it. True Love was the first track that was written off the record. We went back to New York and we recorded the drums with Chris Zane. He's a great producer. And Alex Frankel from Holy Ghost came in and played some clavinet. The clavinet was originally a really cheap soft synth, so we went back and we recorded it with the real thing. He was complaining about how the funk was too British and not American enough.
It sounds really good, and it sounds amazing live as well, because it's you know, we've added this kind of brass parts to it that double some of the stuff that guitars are doing on the record, and yeah, it's really strong live.
The outro has kind of quite a sort of Stevie Wonder-esque jazzy hook that sort of flitters about, and yeah, it kind of feels like a really grand moment on the record. And yeah, lyrically it's about just coming back from tour and sort of being brought back to reality and just realising that your world is exactly the same and nothing's changed.
We did a lot to it and then sort of had to kind of edit it down and sort of get it, you know, sounding cohesive and stuff.
It's basically just like a verse, Detroit, techno-y sounding, pulsing synth that starts from sort of very soft sound that sort of gets bigger and bigger and bigger and then sort of explodes into this sort of grand chimey chorus.
It's got the old UK funky drums on it as well.
The final track, Helpless, was written in a deserted beach house in Rye, out of season. It was really gloomy weather and we wanted to write something that was quite melancholic sounding, almost like Boards of Canada or something like that, but with a much poppier edge. When we finished it on bonfire night, we just went out to the beach and set off a load of fireworks, and you can hear a little sample of us setting the fireworks off right at the end of the record, and I just think it's a really nice way to end the proceeding. The artwork to the record is a parrot, very glossy, high definition photo of a parrot flying, and it's by Solveig Sundsbo, who is quite a famous fashion photographer, I believe. And yeah, we're really pleased that he let us use the image. I think it was his wife who happened to be a fan of the band, or his girlfriend. So yeah, I think that definitely helped us in getting the use of the image.